Okay, so the first thing is that I was telling you guys now that if you want to excel in MPR, or you want to like, if you just want to be comfortable, like you don't want to have stress that when the test is coming, I don't know what's going on, you need to be consistent. MPR, you can't study the night before, you can't study 2 days before. It's like learning how to drive in a day. Like you can't, it's practical, right? Like it's very practical. But what's nice is that I've compiled a document with a lot of problems for you to do. I've open. So let me just see if I can close this. I don't know. I don't think I can close it. Okay, so if you look at the drive, this is pretty much it, right? So if you look here, all the past papers from 2013 to 2017, it's not updated. I have been quite busy. I put it a to-do list, but I'll put it again here. Update drive. So it's not updated. I still need to add all of last year's material, 2018 material, and then so this is a drive. If it's all the semester tests generally here, and then some exams. I don't think I have some exams for you. So yeah, guys. So I already gone through the most to get this for you. But yeah, then you got past tutorial assignments. So these are my tutorial assignments, and I've even put headings, basic math, arrays, while loops, if statements, blah 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 for you, which is pretty cool. And we are going to look at some of the problems in here. So these are in PDF format, so you don't have to worry about Jupyter or anything. PDF format. Okay. Wait, no. Okay, and then I have study material for you, which is basically just Introduction to Program Engineers textbook. Are you guys familiar with this? You're asking me about a textbook now. First time seeing this? Yes. Cool. So if you look at this, so this textbook is compiled by these three lecturers. This was the original lecturer. He's left. This is the one who's still like, he's literally left UP. This guy, and he was like my lecturer. Then we have, okay, no, but don't worry, like, yeah, so these are the lecturers who compiled it. But if you look at the textbook, don't worry about that, right? Now, this textbook is on ClickUp. So if you go to ClickUp, to study material over here, you'll see that here's everything you need. So there's Python study notes, Introduction to Program for Engineers over here. So this is the textbook. Go, it's loading. So this is the textbook, right? Now, if you look at the textbook, the reason why this textbook is important is, okay, it's not necessarily like you shouldn't rely on it for theory. Remember, the goal here is to do as many problems to form that. You're not going to form your intuition from theory. You're going to form your intuition from understanding how codes and how like codes work. And that's how I formed it. And generally, to succeed in MPR, being like how the tests are set up, you need to form that actual programming intuition. Because we'll look at a paper now. I'll show you guys quickly what a paper looks like, but let's just look at this quickly. This textbook isn't organized. This is like, they changed your syllabus a bit in terms of how it's structured. But just note an unconditional loop is a for loop. So just take note of that. Just write that down, because unconditional loop is a for loop. Right? But this textbook, it's good because it has end of chapter problems, as you're all familiar with in engineering. So we're going to look at chapter 3. That's what we're going to be doing now. Chapter 3. So let's make sure we're all on the same page, chapter 3. But you'll see the problems here. Let's close this thing. Okay, chapter 3. Okay, I'm still on chapter 2. Okay, I can even click here. Wait, let me come on the side here. Chapter 3, name and objects. Okay, yeah, exercises there. So at the end of each chapter, there's these exercises that you see here. They're very, very good. But remember what I said is, and the problems you do with MPR, it is quality. It's actually more quality over quantity, because you can do 100 easy problems, you'll fail, right? But if you do, like if you build up to getting to if you can solve 5 difficult problems, you don't need to continue with that section. You understand it. So over the years of teaching MPR in my drive, if you look at the drive, I've compiled a document called MPR problems, and I need to update it as well with more problems. But for now, it's generally up to date from 2018. And if we look at it, these are how I recommend you study MPR and how you do problems. Because MPR, if you fall behind, as I said, you can't study if state, like you can't study a bunch of MPR the night before. Like it's not going to be practical, especially with all your other modules. So what I recommend now is attend the important classes, but if you have to, really sit down and focus. Like instead of doing like an hour of MPR and this and that, do 4 hours of MPR. Just sit and do MPR. Like, because if you put your focus all over the place, you're not going to be as productive with learning. I found students, when they get to necessary structures, they just hit a barrier. Like it's just because it's necessary, you have to put everything. You need to put arrays, you need to put for loops, you need to put while loops, and you need to put if statements together. You need to write a program that has them all together, and it's not as overnight. You can't do that. So you even look here. So these problems I have, I say basically for semester S1 you do arrays, for loops, while loops, if statements, nested structures. These are some things that these are like my own problems I put there for you. So the next page is, if you look here, these are problems these are my own problems I've given you about nested structures. And then if you look at semester test 1, all of these questions here are nested structure questions. So for your semester test 1, if you can do up until here, and remember all this material is all on my drive, if you can go up until here, if you can do these questions on your own, you'll get a distinction guaranteed. But you must understand it. Like I've had students they will go up until here. They'll go up until semesters, like up until here, semester test 2, because wait, I think this should be 2016. I don't know, anyway. But they'll go up until here, right? And then they'll be like, and I'll talk to them and they'll be like, I'm ready, I'm going to do well. Test comes, they fail. They get like a 20 or a 30 because they didn't truly understand it. And how you know that is you must time yourself. So when you look at, let's go back here quickly and let's look at the past papers. So I'm going to use 2016 as an example. So if we look here, this is our 2016 paper. Now, how the general format is, you'll see that there's some multiple choice questions, and this is generally easy stuff, just math and basic things and arrays generally. And then the real stuff starts over here. So generally this first question is easy, and then the second question is your hard one. So if you can do multiple choice and do this question, you've already got, so look, it's 17. The papers are usually out of 50. So if you just count the marks, this question is out of 12. 12 plus 17 is 29 plus 21, so that's 50, right? So if you can do this, you get almost like, if you can just do question, multiple choice, get all of that right, and do this question, you have 29 and 50. What's that? Times multiplied by 2, that's 58%. So you've passed the first semester test. But my advice is really aim to do well in first semester test, because second semester test, your guys, you don't play with the second one. The second one, I got a 50 or something. I think I got 55% for the second one. I got 100 for the first one, and then for the second one I got 55 because but it was my own fault, because I started playing. I was like, MPR is chilled. And then I stopped doing problems and I stopped working, consistently. And then my results showed. I teach one way. That's the simplest way, the easiest way to understand, the simplest, easiest way, and the way that will get you a distinction, the way that will get you a pass. It doesn't really, as I said, it depends on your intuition. So with Python, the reason why a lot of students find it difficult is this time thing. Is you can code. You understand how to code, right? But you can't code, you can't do the question in a set amount of time. And if there's no code there to mark, you get 0. Even if you wrote your code down and you have a code, and if the time runs out, the invigilator is not going to stand there and wait for you to write your code down. Pens down, hand in your thing. They're very strict. So you should time yourself. You should make sure that in a set amount of time, don't even like that you can do the question. And so remember EBN, it was 2 minutes per mark, right? It was 2 minutes per mark. I think here it's 1.8 minutes per mark. So it's even worse than EBN. So what you do is multiply 1.8 by the question total, and then you will know. But don't always use 1.8. Like just take the amount of time of the paper and divide it by, like when you start, as soon as when you get your test, calculate, see, because if you look here, right, he doesn't tell you what it's out of it, and he might not, I don't know. There's no total mark. There's just question 1, question 2, there's like no, so just don't assume it's 50 marks. Sometimes it might be 40 marks, sometimes it might be 30 marks. So make sure you like when you're going through the problems that you like, especially like when you do past papers, because if you look here, when you guys can just watch it, you don't have to go back to these problems. When you look here, you'll see how I suggest you do problems. I say, okay, do lecture note, understand the examples, read them, understand them. Like, and how you do that is you redo the examples. You look at the example, you do it, and then you redo it. But you change the code. You change the names of the things you name it. But objects and names you'll be more comfortable after the session. Then pass through assignments. So these are, I basically say, start with the easiest and work to doing the hardest. Start with the easiest, work to doing the hardest, right? But when you get here, time yourself. Remember that, I even emphasize here. Time yourself. And the guys, like, I can't understand, the reason why students fail MPR is because they can't finish the question in time. Because they can code, they know how to do MPR, they finish with a 40% knowing MPR better than a 100% guy. They just can't do it in that time. Okay, time yourself. And that's the first thing you need, but only when you do doing past paper questions. Okay, so, cool. Anything else I can tell about past papers? I feel like when the time comes, semester S1, when you actually focused on that, when you're looking at that, I'll discuss them more. When you're answering your questions, they're going to give you like a little scrapbook. So you got your test, your question paper, and you got like a little scrapbook. And in the scrapbook, you're expected to do it helps you understand the question, break up the problem, understand what you must do. But at the end, that doesn't count for marks. But that thing is important because should you want to get more marks or something and you say, hey, sir, look, like I did this. I got a 9, originally for my first message, I got 94%. And then I went and fought with the lecturer and I was like, sir, look, I'm supposed to get 100% for this question. Look what I did. I can even show you in my scrapbook. He pulled out the scrapbook because you're actually showing him everything. And I showed him. I'm like, look, sir, like obviously, because he has it in his possession. And I showed him and I'm like, look, this is what I did. And he looked at it, he was like, okay, yeah, there. So, it's not like going to change the world, but yeah. And also, if you get a bad mark for this miss test, because I said at times, not always, the questions are very, very vague. Like, and you'll see that when I do past paper questions with you guys. It'll be like, wait, what do they want here? Do they want this? Do they want that? The important thing is just like sit down, figure it out on paper. But you remember I said the more problems you do, the more you'll get intuition for it. You'll be like, okay, this is what I think they want. I'm going to do this. And if they give you 0, you can always file for a remark. And then you can explain in your remark, this is what I saw, this is what I did, mark me right. Oh yeah, another important thing is this thing here on the drive, how to pass MPR like a boss. So I actually wrote an exact case study on my study method and other students who succeeded in MPR. And they started early, so the idea is the start of the semester, you must start early. You need to be consistent right from the beginning. So you need to always keep up to date. So what I would do is, so this week he's probably doing while loops in class. So you're actually, in my method, you're a bit behind. But I remember what happened with me, right? Basically, yeah, like what happened with me, I would be in class, and then I'd sit there, and then the guys behind me, Indian guys, yeah. There's Indian guys behind me, and then they would be talking about while loops and stuff, and the lecturer was discussing for loops. And I didn't even know what was like going on, because the lecturer used to just make it look so difficult, and I don't know what's going on, like I don't know what the hell's going on. And then I was like, no, this module is practical. I have to sit down and do problems on my own. If I don't come to class prepared and I don't know what a for loop is, that class is useless. So that was my first mindset shift. So what I'd always do is I'd always aim, if he's doing 4 loops now in class, like this week, because you can see, then I would always make sure the week before, I would, like on the weekend before, I would learn 4 loops. Wouldn't master them, but I would, so that I know what it is. And then in class it's practical. But what I would do is, so say the week in that part now, he's doing while loops in class. He's doing while loops, right? I don't know if, okay. Okay, but let's say he's doing 4 loops in class this week. Now on the Saturday, remember what I said is, you guys have, like, if you got a lot going on the weekends, try and minimize, get rid of, do you want to, how much is the module for MPR? How much does it cost? I think it's like 6,000, no, I think it's like something like 7,000 Rand or 8,000 Rand for this module, right? Think about that. That's like a holiday to Durban or Cape Town or something. So rather on the weekends, that's your time. That's your MPR time. Because during the week it's crazy. Like you've got class, you've got practicals, you've got assignments. It's crazy. But weekends, that is your MPR time. So aim to do, wake up, first thing you do in the morning, do MPR for 4 hours. That's what I did. Woke up in the morning and I had a lot going on. But I said, no, 4 hours, I don't care who's trying to text me, I don't care who's trying to phone me. No, I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to do MPR. So I'd wake up on the Saturday, on the Saturday I'll go through the lecture notes. Literally, this is the study method I would do. It's right here. I would start on the Saturday, I would do the lecture notes, right? And then on the, like, I'll just make sure I understand it. I'll do the problems, do them over, but understand the flow of the code. I would look at it and understand, how is this code flowing? Okay, so Saturday, I would do my problems in the morning. And then the thing is, like, I was doing like 6-7 modules like at the time, other modules. So I always had to focus on those. So Saturday, we'd do MPR in the morning, got that out the way. I would understand it, but I'll make sure I understood. Remember, look at the problem, redo the problem, use different text, change things, boom. Then the next day, I would go through these problems. So we're looking at 4 loops, I'll go through these. So I've already given you problems to do. I say, guys, do this on the Saturday, do this on the Sunday. You can even do it like together if you want to. Everyone's schedule is different, but on the weekend, make sure that you've done this, that you have to do it. Like, there's just no way. Like, you have to do that on the weekend, right? Then on the Monday would come, and then being mechanical engineering, we have our tutorial sessions on the Friday. But I realized that, these tutorial sessions are actually very helpful, because if you look at the Introduction to Program for Engineers book, I think I have it open here. Here. If you look at these exercises, these problems, so this is 4 loops, chapter 4, there's no memo, right? There's no memo for these things. So you don't know if you're right or wrong. How you would know if you're right or wrong in the test is they'll usually give you like a little simulation or something. Say if you put this in your function, you get this out, if you put this in, you should get this out. This is how you know you're right. They'll usually give you something there. If they don't, guys, it's just faith. It's faith-based, but you'll do a lot of problems. You'll know if you're right or wrong. Like, you'll make your own test scenarios. You'll put your own thing in, you'll get your own thing out. And I'm gonna get more into that at a later stage. But these problems, there's no memo. So what I'll do is I'll do my best on my own on the weekend, because you have to sit on your own. Like, you have to understand it. Like, you can go to your friend and you can ask him to explain it, which can help you as well. Like, in terms of shortcuts, you can. And then and then past tutorial assignments. Now, if you look here, so past tutorial here, I'm basically saying that that past tutorial, this is your, these are problems I've given you, easy ones here, just a reminder, past tutorial here, so they're there, and then just look here, I put everything here, and then lecture notes, and then tutorial assignment, it's exactly the same as yours, just do that again. So that's really how you're going to study, and then, But this is important, guys. Like, before I show you MPR, before I show you these things, you need to sort this out. You need to get your own schedule. You need to make sure that on the Saturdays, the weekends, you cover this. However you do it, it needs to be done. And then, so then on the Monday, I was saying, it's not here. Wait, where is it? Here's it. On the Monday, I would go to the like the civils, I think it was a civils tutorial session. I'll go there, and then I'll sit there, and then I'll ask the TAs for help. Like on stuff I didn't understand. You know, even the lecturers, if it didn't make sense, or if that, because those guys really know what's going on. So I'll ask them, and I learned so many shortcuts. They'll show me like how to highlight things and move things, and I learned a lot from them. And generally, all my wisdom is from all the collective from them. So imagine me plus them plus you on your own. I mean, you're gonna learn a lot. So yeah, so when you're learning, try to understand on your own, but then you actually want to go and like get extra insights, go to the tutorial sessions, and then yeah. So, and then what I'll do is finally, because obviously your tutorial session counts for marks, and if you look here, how I've planned it again, is then you only do your tutorial session. Instead of just relying on your tutorial session as the only thing you're doing, you're going to fail. If you just do lecture tutorials, you'll fail, like you're wasting time. Even the lecturer said it once, the previous guy was like, if you guys are only doing lecture tutorial assignments, you're going to fail MPR. Like, he said that to the class. Yeah, so, because these things are easy. Like, they're not designed to, like, to help. Like, they're designed to help you, but you need to have a foundation. You need to have this in place first before you can do your tutorial assignment. Okay. And then, yeah, so usually tutorial assignment, I'll do that on the Thursday night, and then it was due on the Friday, and then I'll go to the Friday session and I'll ask them if everything's right, because I think they count for marks now. And then they'll be like, yeah, ask the TAs to look at it, they say that's cool, and then submit it. But also pay attention to like your, what's this, like this, the objects, no, okay, I'm going to explain that. But just be careful of the names and the stuff you use. So listen to the instructions of the tutorial assignments. I lost marks because I didn't listen to this or that, because it's the computer that marks it.